Alrighty, welcome everybody to this new series called Seeing Your Game series. And this episode, I am analyzing Amely, who is a French national team player and a women's pro player. And I'm going to be giving her some feedback and some insight into some of the things that I'm seeing based off her final win with Svenja at a French national major event. I believe they won in 2 sets. And yeah, I have some notes prepared, which I will be going through and sharing throughout this video. And the main focus of this series is to give the viewer, which in this case is Amely, some key tips and things to focus on. There's obviously loads of really good things. There's obviously loads of things for improvement as we're all just improving as players. And my biggest goal with this series and with this video now for Amely is to give her 3 or 4 things that I consistently see occurring. So not just isolated feedback, but patterns. And if there's patterns, then hopefully they're the most valuable things that Amely can take from her game and then know what to improve upon before her next tournament or her next event. So that's the goal of this series, and that's the goal for Amely. And so with that said, let's get into the first goal. So the first one is the timing of the cross step when flicking. And I have some times that I also send Amely after, so she has all my notes. But these are the main 4 ones we're going to be talking through. First one, 2:26. So let's jump all ahead to that time. Okay, so what we're going to see in a second is, hopefully I got the time right. Yes. Okay, so here, as Amely is now about to do your flick, Amely, then just as you're about to contact this ball, to maximize our reach, we want to push off, if we're going left side of the no-hit zone, push off this right foot pretty much at the same time as we contact our ball. Right now, you actually almost use no footwork to get more reach. You just use your reach by leaning down really well and contacting this ball. And this is great, but this is not giving you as much reach as you could. If you push off this right foot at the same time, you would have much greater of a reach over the net. As you can see how much more you're leaning now, but this is only after you've done your footwork. So in the ideal world, we push off this foot just as we contact this ball, and that way it gives us even more reach over the net, which will allow you to do this hit even more comfortable and even maybe grab it and get a few more squares by having an easier access to the back of this ball to perform a flick pull. There's a really good example of when you do this much better now at 4:29, which we're going to jump to. 4:29. And so here, ball gets set. And now you can see your timing is much better in this video because just as you're about to contact this ball, you're lowering, you're getting really good reach, your form looks really good here. But now at this moment, your right foot is just about to lift. And so now you get that little bit extra lean by being able to now push off that right foot at the same time as contact. You can still do this even earlier. I would like to see you start pushing off really now. This foot should start leaving the floor now. And now it should be almost off the floor and in the air at your point of contact. And that way, again, you're going to be able to reach even further over the net and make it more comfortable footwork for you. So this is a much better example. You can even do this a little bit earlier, but this is a pattern that came up quite a few times. That I just want to help you see for your game so that you can incorporate it, just so you can make these flicks even better. Similar one. I'm going to try and just pause it just so you can see the detail. So again, preferably, I would love if you could already push off this right foot now. Start to push off. And it's only after you've made contact. You make contact, you're not really getting this lean that you really want from this foot right now because this foot hasn't left the floor yet. So if you could now lean, look how far you've now leant here. I would love for you to be in this position when you contact the ball instead of this foot still being on the floor and therefore making a really long reach. And this is just a timing thing. And this just can practice in isolation, get this timing going. It's the same for the cross step when we do a cross step. When we do a shuffle step, we're now trying to push off that foot almost simultaneously at the same time as we contact the ball, because that's where it gives us our maximum reach as an athlete, which therefore makes it more consistent and repeatable as a hit. I'll show you one more and then we'll go on to the next topic. So 7:31 to do. So here, as I now do in slow-mo, So you can see you make contact with the ball, you almost finish your follow through, and then you sort of use the cross step to catch you. And that way it's really hard for you now to contact this ball really close to the net, because if you want to contact the ball just above the net, you're going to have to need that footwork from that additional lean and that additional movement from your footwork, giving you more of a reach over the net. If you don't do this footwork, your reach is going to be limited, and then also you can't get as low as you would like to now contact this ball super low to perform really low flicks. So it's just the timing. This happens, I think, also again in the same point, 2 for 1, bang, great touch. And then again, just contact, and then you push off. And this one happens a little bit quicker, so it's hard for you to get the timing perfect, and you can still probably reach it without having to need to do a cross step. But can you just try and work on that timing to make your flicks even better and more consistent while demanding less footwork? So that's the first goal. Tick. And the next one, A1, A2, or B. Big one for everyone in the sport, something we all can improve on massively. Let's go to the first clip at 4:44, just so you can see. So ball gets set here. Again, it's not a really high set, so it's not you get loads of time to move. I would love your right foot to be down right now, so you can maximize your time reading the set. You don't have to spend your time getting your foot down, then moving. You can already be foot down, right foot down, like Svenja here. And now you're just ready to maximize all of your time towards reading the set. Ball gets set, a little bit over the rim, right, off net. And now your ideal position would be here, right, at point B, because the ball's landing over the rim. You could be around the 7-foot line, and you could now touch the ball with your right hand on the maximum push. Sven, you would touch the maximum pull, and you both be at point B together, touching hands in the middle. Now, again, you're not given a lot of time. I know this. We all know this. That's fine. So if you're not having time to get towards B right now, which again is ideal, then I would love for you to then go to boom, A1 or A2, get inside that no hit zone. Instead, by the time this ball is contacted, maybe some of your left hand is part of the range. And Svenja, she's almost at point B. You'd both be better right now, both of you being at A2, if you can't fully get to B, because B gives us that time to react. If we're not being where we want to be at B, with the ball now being set over the rim, then you'd be better off just prioritizing your range. Range, range, range. Range is king, range is king. And if you realize in this calculation you don't have time for B, then get yourself to A2. Again, this happens very quickly, and it's usually the person who's doing the funnel who usually gets to A2, and the other person, like Svenja for this example, Svenja had the shorter distance to get towards point B, with it being set just left side of the hitter, and therefore opting for a flick. So Svenja had a shorter distance to go towards her range. So Amely, can you really keep yourself accountable and go, okay, am I going to be A1 or A2? We don't want to be caught in this, what you're now in, which is like the middle gray zone. You're neither at point B, you're neither at A2. If you go to A2 here, yeah, you might not get a touch. You might get a touch, but the biggest thing is you just take your range. If it hits you, it's bonus. If it doesn't hit you, it goes through to your lovely partner who's more at point B right now. And that's where we want to get touches at point B. Just to show a couple of these, there's a couple of examples. 6:15. So again, this is a great example. Again, I need you to keep on thinking about your form. Your job isn't to get a touch. Your job is now just to take your range. And you can see this ball now gets set on the point of contact of the set. You guys are in open defense, okay? You're maybe a little bit too far, Amely, as this ball is being set by the no-hit zone line, and you're a little bit greater than the no-hit zone line. Sven, you're 2. And now as soon as this ball gets set, you read it's going to be over here on the right hand of the hitter. You now have the longest journey to get towards your range, so therefore you go to A1 or A2. Svenja backs up to B. This is really nice. Now again, can you keep yourself accountable? Can you really get to A2? Get this right arm fully along this room, so you take that low open first, and then you start shuffling all of your body more and more in this range. Again, if it hits you, bonus. If it doesn't hit you, it goes straight towards your lovely partner at point B, because you're ensuring you're taking your range. And so it's just the form of A1 or A2. I don't want to see you outside the no-hit zone. I want to see at least 1 foot, but hopefully both feet on the no-hit zone line, taking that range. If you'd have done that, the ball either hits your forearm beautifully and it gets an A1 touch, or you manage to get all the way around to A2 and now it's a body touch, even better. Or the hitter now doesn't hit it on that line because you're there. So this hits it straight within Svenja's reach. Unfortunately, this was just outside of Svenja's reach and more of your job to cover. So just try to keep yourself accountable of, are we at A1, are we at A2, or are we at B? We want to be caught in between zones or not doing our full form at A1 or A2. Okay, next one. Just the serve. I know me and you've been working a lot with your serve, and it's amazing how much pressure you both got on and how powerful your serve was in this game. I just want you to be aware of the um, mechanical thing that I'm seeing, I'm watching, just so you don't put loads of more reps in without being aware of it. At least then you're aware of it and you can choose what you do with it. But as we're watching you serve, let's go this one. There's two serves here. So we're watching you serve. Oops, pause that. Not great timing on my pause, my bad. So as we pause this, now after this ball gets tossed, which is going to be about now, you can see that right now your shoulders aren't fully turned, your hips aren't turned. If this is your first serve, then I'd love to see you get more turn, more side on, utilize this power of you swinging right-handed because you're not swinging very left-handed. So you might as well utilize this power. You could even be preloaded before you step, like we worked on a little bit before. And that way you allow your body mechanics to be even more consistent and even more powerful, which would be a really cool thing to see. If I now watch back on your next serve, just so again it's an easier angle from here, you can now see you toss the ball at this moment. Now this ball has now left your hand. So only from this moment on, I'd like to see this right arm completely parallel with the ground, so flat like a tabletop, not leaning down a little bit, completely flat like a tabletop. And I don't want to see this elbow rise after this ball has been tossed. And if we now go frame by frame, this is much better where you're now here, and the only issue is that your forearm is now going from slightly downwards to now slightly up. Do you see how your forearm is now slightly up? It would be great if you could start with your forearm on this tabletop before, and that way you can only just go elbow down, forearm through. You don't need to add in this another variable of your arm now coming up to then go down. So just a small thing, and this is great. Forearm parallel, really good transfer of power, even if it's a drop serve. But I would just love for you to incorporate this as much as possible, just to be aware of it. Every now and again, just do a slow-mo session on your serving. Check out if there's any just mechanical things that you need to work out or work on before you put in more and more hours. Otherwise, you could put in a lot of hours and then be stuck in hitting a ceiling due to doing something that's maybe a little bit suboptimal that you didn't quite consciously see. So use that slow-mo and help you see it, just so you're always going down that great pathway and you continue to make really good progress with your serve, which you have done during this off season so far. And then the last one, caught in motion. So this is one that happens a little bit. Was the first one. So right now, this one, it might be the next point, although that was still a fine example, but no one touched it. Okay, so right now, I want you to cut your losses. I want you to now, you're here. Oops. You're here right now, you're playing defense. This ball is about to get set, so we pause it. On this point of contact, which is the set, don't want you to be caught in motion. I want you, before this set is made, feet down, so then you can maximize your movement and time to get towards the range. And now, by the time of this contact point, which is the hits are doing now, I want you also to put your feet down, cut your losses. If you didn't get back to B, that's okay. Then enjoy being at A2. And I just want you to lean with your body. I don't want you to move your feet too much. Look what happens with your feet right now. See how you sort of shuffle and jump? I'd rather you put your feet down and lean. Otherwise, even if you do get this touch, all your momentum is now going laterally and also going slightly upwards in an uncontrolled fashion. So maximize your hand-eye coordination, maximize your ability of your quality of touch to now just freeze, maximize your reach, maximize your reach. There's quite a few examples of these, so we're going to go through a few. Let's go 539. Okay, here we go. Boom. So on this point of contact, I want it to be frozen. Look how you're still moving. You're left to right. You're halfway through a shuffle step right now. And now you had to spend this half the time was in the air moving laterally. If this ball had theoretically got put on her right hand, you would actually be moving away from the range. So on this point of contact, both feet should be down and should be ready to read the set. And now as this ball is struck, I want you now to freeze. Put that left foot down, freeze. Just maximize your quality touch. You're in an amazing spot. You're pretty much at point B. But then you just get caught jumping and moving. And this now hurts your quality of touch. And that's what will result a lot of the time in happening. Now, of course, you've got the redo here, fortunately, but I would love to see you just get in the habit of, whether it's a bad touch, good touch, just get in the habit of, okay, on the point of contact of the set, freeze, on the point of contact of the hit, freeze. Maximize your movements between those periods, but don't be still overlapping one movement with the other time period. Otherwise, it's going to hurt your quality of touch and also hurt your read potentially on the set if your feet aren't down on the point of contact of the set. Again, something a lot of people can work on and we can all get better at. So that's pretty much all I have. You can also just see getting caught in motion again. Just are you A1, A2, or B? I would love for you to go, okay, I'm either backing up to B or I'm getting to A2. Try not to get caught in this middle zone where you're not fully taking your range if you're inside the no-hit zone and you're not fully giving yourself the time to react at point B. And point B, again, in this scenario, we now know is by the 7-foot line, because look at that ball, it's being set over the rim. Closer the ball is set to the middle, the more point B is closest to the net. The more it's set over the rim, the further back we can be, of course. So just being a little bit more really accountable in are you A1, A2, or B? And again, if you're funneling, most of the time it will be A2. If you don't need to funnel, most of the time it will be B. If there's a really high set, it should be B. But most of the time, when you're funneling, that's okay if you go to A2. Do your job and try to do it as best as you can. Okay, so those are the notes. I hope you and anyone watching enjoys this series. If anyone else wants their game seen and be given some goals to work on and some things to focus on before the next tournament or in their training, then feel free to check out the tier on Patreon. I'm going to send these notes over to you, Amely, so you have it, and you can continue any thoughts or questions you have in the comments, and we'll go from there. Alrighty. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon, Amely.